Lights go up, the crowd's in a buzz. Hawk talk, stop from mighty thud. Voices sharp like a razor blade. Breaking news like a wild cascade. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. Host on fire, you can't deny. Hot take sharp with no alibi. Game analysis deep as night. Get ready for an epic ride. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. We call the plays before they happen. Feel the rush as the crowd is clapping. Stand tall with your team above. Hawk talk anthem, feel the love. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. We're the free. Set you free. We're the voice that sets you free.
All right. How we doing, everybody? Welcome in on this Tuesday edition of Sports Talk with Hawk. How we doing today? Second day back. And we got some news. My goodness gracious, do we have some news? I don't like this news. I'll be very clear. This news really, really perplexes me. Cliff Kingsbury. Now I hope the Washington staff is not being stupid in a year where Jaden Daniels was injured. Okay? I really hope that's not the case. I hope they're being much smarter than that. But Cliff Kingsbury mutually decided to part ways. What that means, I don't know. Is he going to get another job? Has he been contacted to be a head coach? Now, Joe Witt, I understand. His defensive play calling was not great. But Cliff Kingsbury, I mean, the Commanders stayed afloat. You were starting Josh Johnson, for gosh sakes. I mean, your offensive line crumbled. McLaurin was a baby. And, the end of the year, Krosky Merritt had that big game against Dallas that almost won me a fantasy football championship. I don't understand any of this. I don't. I don't understand this. If they mutually agreed, the only thing that I can come up with is that Kingsbury has already been contacted. That's the only thing I can think of. Witt, I understand. If I was Dan Quinn, though, I would go get a defensive coordinator. I really would. Not Raheem Morris. Not Raheem Morris. But I would go get a defensive coordinator. I will say Kelvin Shepard for the Lions, to me, with all the injuries in the secondary, did a pretty good job. I don't think Shepard is much of a drop-off from Aaron Glenn. But where's Kingsbury going to go? That's a bit, to me, it's a perfect one. You get a coach like Brian Flores or Robert Saleh. Kingsbury is a great offensive coordinator. I don't like him as a head coach. I love him as a college head coach. Let me be very clear. I like him as a college head coach. But the NFL, I would prefer him as the offensive coordinator. I mean, you had an injury-plagued year. You can't overreact to stuff like that. It just, that cannot happen. So I don't know what's going on. Now, I will say, the Cowboys firing Matt Eberflus was probably one of the easiest. That was the easiest decision of life. So, what does Brian Schottenheimer do? I'm reading the story here. Not good enough. Yeah, but you're a head coach with no pull. So does Brian Schottenheimer go get Raheem Morris? Who does Brian Schottenheimer get? So here's what I am wondering. Who are the real candidates? I was writing them out, my little notepad. Trying to think of who the candidates would be. You know a candidate that I didn't think of? So I was going through this list here. Matt Nagy. The Chicago Bears did not spend money until Ben Johnson, and Ben Johnson came in like a bull in a china shop and ripped everything that the Bears had done down. Matt Nagy won without that ability. The Bears spent a ton of money last year. Look at everybody they brought in. They've drafted halfway decent. Adunze, Burden, Monungai, defensively. They've drafted pretty well. Offensive line they kind of struggle with, but who doesn't? Why couldn't Matt Nagy work in New York? He's already been in Chicago. He's already been in a big city. Why couldn't he work in New York? I think he could work in Arizona. I would not put him with Mendoza. I think Stefanski, you need a real offensive mind to be able to structure what the Raiders are going to do. And Tom Brady, if he has any pull, better be smarter this time. Tom, let's be real, and this is not coming from a Colts fan that hates his guts as a Patriot. Business-wise, he's playing a lot of gray areas, so he better get this right. He hired Pete Carroll. That didn't work. His legacy as a player may not be on the line, but his legacy as an individual really is, because nobody believes he's got integrity right now. I mean, he didn't silence the people who were questioning his integrity. He takes a deal with Fox and owns the team. He gets behind the scenes information and is a team owner. He played for an organization that played very, very dirty. Whether you think there was deflated footballs or not, reality is, I don't care. Spygate, he knows where those tapes came from. He knows where the extra stuff came from. He knows it's illegal. That is where I'm wondering, does he have the ability to make good decisions? This next hire, and I may be feeling this way because an IU football player, graduate from Cal, is going to be the number one pick. And Mendoza is such a good kid, I don't want business stupidity or faux pas to derail what he could be. That's simple. I believe the Raiders hiring Kevin Stefanski would be an absolute gold mine. He's been in the North. He's been with Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh. The big coaches don't scare Kevin. It's a great hire. He's not going to shrink in the moment. If anything, he's made them look stupid multiple years. Look absolutely outright dumb multiple years. Chiefs are going to be down. The Chargers, when they're healthy, are the best team in that division, in my opinion. The Broncos are second. Third is up for grabs. But the Broncos do have a glaring hole. I think it's Sean Payton's play calling and his lack of ability to consistently stick to just the run. But Matt Nagy is a great choice for a couple of these other places. Atlanta wouldn't be bad. But what about Matt Nagy to the Giants? Mike McCarthy's going to be coming back. I'm calling Nick Saban if I am a couple of these teams, because I want a guy that's got a little bit of pull. I want a guy that's got some oomph. I know everybody's like, well, that didn't work for Carroll. Listen, Carroll wasn't great at hiring coordinators. It wasn't Chip Kelly's fault. And now Chip Kelly is calling plays for Northwestern. I still can't believe this. Chip Kelly took an offensive coordinator position for Northwestern. He's back in the Big Ten. He may have decided, forget this. It ain't worth it. I'm not being the scapegoat for what went wrong here. Pete had a problem. And now he's out. I think he should go back to college. Mike McCarthy could work with Tennessee. Mike McCarthy could work with the Giants. But you think about Matt Nagy, Steve Spagnuolo. I wouldn't hire Steve. I like him as a defensive coordinator, just like I wouldn't hire Vic Fangio. Those are two guys I don't believe have the head coach ability. They are great at the defense, and let them do that. Let them be great at their side of the football. Brian Flores and Robert Saleh instilled, they're tough. They are tough. Mike McDaniel's soft. Miami is out extremely soft. Even if they get the right quarterback, they're soft. They're very squishy. Mike McDaniel's not tough. They're not tough. They break all the time. So I think the hires for some of these places, there's going to be random. Chris Shula, I know somebody's going to take a gamble on. I hope it's not the Falcons. Falcons don't need to take a gamble on somebody right now. They can't afford to. Really, none of the 6 teams right now can really afford to take a gamble because the Titans and Giants both have young QBs. The Raiders have the number 1 pick, which is going to be Mendoza. The Falcons have a young nucleus core. You don't have time to take a risk. I'm going to keep saying it. Atlanta should hire Nick Saban. I think he'd retain Jeff Albrook. And if he brought in Bill O'Brien to be able to run the offense with Bijan Robinson, I fully believe that offense would be top 5 in the NFL in rushing, and the play action would open up. Mike Tomlin is an interesting one. If he gets roasted this weekend, I don't know what's going to happen. They may trade him, they may not. I don't know. John Harbaugh, I haven't heard anything yet, so we'll see what happens. Lou Anarumo is getting contacted by the Tennessee Titans for their head coaching position. I think it's a wrong move with a quarterback that young. Maybe it'll work. I don't see it. But there could be some stretches. There's 6 head coaching positions. I'm not going to take much of a risk. Saleh's teams were tough. He won 6 games in New York. Aaron Glenn only won 3. Brian Flores' teams in Miami were tough. He was hard on them, and they were a bunch of babies. Did he handle people great? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. But being held accountable kind of is a refreshing thing. Being tough. Football's tough. Flores would work in multiple areas. I think Matt Nagy works. I think Mike McCarthy works. Chris Shula, I'm not sure. Like I said, I'd hire Kevin Stefanski immediately if I am any one of these teams not named the Browns. I don't know where this is going to go. But look out. There's going to be some interesting names that you start hearing about. There's going to be some interesting names. All right. One of the other interesting things that is going on, and I've been trying to figure this up because this really, I don't get what this is. So the Falcons restructured Kirk Cousins' contract. He's already had the 2 years that had all the guaranteed money built up into it. Okay? They just restructured his contract. There's now a guarantee of $68 million for the 2027 season that will be guaranteed on March 13th. I don't get it. As part of the restructure, this is interesting. They reduced his 2026 base salary from a non-guaranteed $35 million to just $2.1 million. Okay. The split there equals the amount of money that he got in the guarantee over what his previous pay would have been. The restructure does not change any of the guaranteed money Cousins already had. So, if he gets released before March 13th, with that post June 1st exemption or whatever it is, it would split the dead money on Cousins' contract between 2026 and 2027. It creates flexibility for Atlanta. They immediately got more cap flexibility because his cap charge dropped immediately. But he didn't have any guaranteed years left. There was no guaranteed money. His guaranteed money was paid over the first 2 years, basically. So I'm not sure what they were doing. I'm really not. I'm not sure what they were doing. But with a base charge of 2.1, there's a lot of different things that can happen with Kirk Cousins now. Well, we'll find out how that works. All right. Playoff news. The Panthers released Hunter Renfrow and added back again David Moore back to their playoff roster ahead of this weekend's games. So let's talk about some of the things that we found out on Sunday. Number one, the Rams played forever, and Arizona is still tough. Number two, Baltimore's defense is so injured, they had no answer for just being able to get off the field. And they blessed the end zone that Tyler was kicking towards, and John Harbaugh probably screwed up just trying to run the ball. I would have gone for the touchdown. I would have. I would have gone for the touchdown. You don't leave it up to a kick. You got time. You had that last time out. I would have gone for it. I would have done a double move with Zay Flowers on the side, max protect, taken one shot at the end zone. I would have. It's exactly what I would have done. So, here's the thing. I don't have any faith in the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I do have a lot of faith in most of the other teams in the AFC besides the Chargers. The Chargers, I think, are going to fight really hard. There are a lot of people that were saying that is the best matchup that they could have hoped for, and I'm going, where? They're like, well, the Patriots don't get after the quarterback as well. Neither have some of the teams the Chargers have played where Herbert's gotten drilled. What are you talking about? That offensive line is a sieve. And you're going up against a Patriot team. Jesse Minter's good on the defense as a defensive coordinator. The Patriot team is absolutely engaged. I don't see the Chargers being able to pull any upset whatsoever. What is even more interesting is that Buffalo is a favorite against Jacksonville. How? Legitimately, how? How in the world are you going to be able to sit there and tell me that Buffalo is better than Jacksonville right now? Yes, Buffalo has Josh Allen. I'll give you that. Buffalo has Josh Allen. That is a 150% correct statement. Hang on, I gotta plug something in. There we go. Very correct statement. But the problem is, Buffalo doesn't have a team. They don't have a team. I mean, Jacksonville's got a full team. Jacksonville has a full team. Complete full team. I like Jacksonville. They're playing together. They're a complete team. I like the Texans. Listen, the Texans can play the Broncos because that defense for the Broncos and that defense for the Texans will absolutely completely make a very good game just like it did during the regular season. Bo Nix gets stymied. And I want to see Jacksonville and New England, a Florida team, go up to the cold weather. I want to see Houston, a dome team, go to Denver. I absolutely want to see it. In the NFC, I'm not counting. The Rams are 10-point favorites over the Panthers. I'm sorry, that is one of my Hawks locks for the week. This is playoff football. Yeah, the Panthers are young. Yes, the Rams have been there. So they're supposed to get Devontae Adams back. Do you not realize the Panthers are the team that beat the Rams because the defense played so well? The defense had Seattle pretty stymied. Seattle's defense, which is better than the Rams' defense, is what kept Carolina at bay and gave them the ability to eventually break it open. But Carolina makes plays. And if Stafford has another 3-turnover game, I will tell you right now, I have said this to Big J, I have said this to Big E, I have said this multiple times, and I am sticking with it now, saying it here. If Matt Stafford has a 3-turnover game, multiple interceptions, a fumble, like he did at Carolina last time, he will be gone. He will be gone. And you know who they may get to replace him? A guy that beat him. Mac Jones. So last night I tried to help a friend out in fantasy and get a quarterback, just because of how everything was. One of the expansion teams in one of our leagues, and doesn't have a ton of capital. I was trying to help him get a quarterback. And one of the quarterbacks that's available is Mac Jones. And the thing is, from everything that I have been able to read and hear, and I was hoping the guy that had Mac wasn't aware of this. I really was. I'll be honest, I really was. But evidently, he heard some of the rumblings that I had heard, probably because mainstream had said it a couple times. But Mac Jones to the Vikings looks pretty good. Mac Jones to Miami looks decent. Mac Jones with Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota, with Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson, Addison. Do you realize what Mac Jones did while Brock Purdy was out? Brock Purdy was out forever. And the only reason the 49ers are in the playoffs is because Mac Jones held everything down. Mac Jones is absolutely a quarterback. He is Daniel Jones. He is Daniel Jones. He was treated like garbage in New England. It was a joke of an operation because old man Bill was there. That was one of the years Patricia was the offensive coordinator. Mac Jones has the ability to be a very decent quarterback, just like Daniel Jones can be. There's flaws, just like we've seen Sam Darnold, but you can cover them up with a great defense and a really solid run game. What does Minnesota have? Great defense. They don't have a solid run game, but they got two really good receivers, one amazing receiver that just wants a guy that can get the ball downfield. And they have a really good tight end. Minnesota and Mac Jones. Mac Jones will be a top 15 fantasy quarterback next year if that happens. I think there's a lot of people that they're sneaky, they're waiting. You've got so many teams that may be able to move off. You got Kyler Murray, you've got Tua, you've got Mac Jones. I'm wondering what the Colts are going to do with Anthony Richardson. Does somebody take a flyer on AR? We only have Mendoza. Only the Raiders are taking care of their quarterback problem for sure. Only the Raiders are. As of right now, if Dante Moore comes out, I will be the number one person to go. It's a dumb move by him. He is 20 years old. He is too young. He is not ready for this. He needs more starts in college before coming out. Ty Simpson, same thing. You need more starts. Your last game cannot be a blowout where you failed at your job. Sorry, that's not how you come out of college to go to the NFL. Ty Simpson screwed up his opportunity. He got happy feet, which is one of his biggest weaknesses. He gets happy feet. He stops focusing. Guys were open. He wasn't throwing the football. Dante Moore has had a lot of perfect things. Mendoza's played at California. He's now played at IU. The reality is Mendoza is an adult. He's a grown-up. He knows how to conduct himself. He is going to win the podium every Tuesday. He knows what to do. Mendoza is the only one that comes out that matters right now. And because of that, only the Raiders have their quarterback problem solved. So you still have the Jets. You still have the Cardinals. You still have the Vikings. You have Atlanta sitting there with Penix. Penix is going to be out for the year. They got to figure out what to do. Do they take the year off? What do they do? You've got the Chiefs sitting there. What do they do? No, they're not going to trade Patrick Mahomes. Gardner Minshew tore his ACL, though. Who are the Chiefs going to get? Both of your quarterbacks are out for the next year. The Colts. There's a lot of Colts fans that want to run with Riley Leonard. I fully support it. Our schedule's tough. The Jets are going to have a very nice pick in 2027 as well from the Colts. It's not good. But if they're talking about being aggressive, do they go get the other Jones? Do you get Mac Jones? Geno Smith is done in Vegas, period. He'll get his guaranteed money, he gone. What's Cleveland going to do? What's Pittsburgh going to do? If Rodgers gets smashed by Will Anderson, what's he going to do? We don't know if Rodgers is coming back. So, I was trying to be sneaky last night, trying to get the guy. I tried to get Cam Ward. Unfortunately, the guy was too smart to get rid of Cam Ward, which is a really, really good pick. Cam Ward is highly undervalued in a lot of fantasy leagues right now, which is why I'm trading for him in a couple of them, because I think next year, some are waiting to see which coach he gets. If it's Lou Anarumo, I'm not as excited, I'll be honest. But if he gets an offensive coach, if he gets Mike McCarthy, Cam will take off. But if Mac Jones gets Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson, he's going to take off immediately. And you're going to have an NFC North where, honestly, Jordan Love's the worst quarterback in that division when it comes to quarterback coach combination. Caleb Williams, I still don't like. He misses layups. He's a lot like Jordan Love. A lot like Jordan Love. And we'll see how he does in these big games. You got the Bears versus Packers, Jordan Love, and Matt LaFleur versus Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. Which quarterback plays the best will determine the winner of that game. You got Jalen Hurts versus Brock Purdy. You got Matt Stafford versus Bryce Young. Listen, what if the Panthers make a trade for Mac Jones? It'd be an upgrade over Young. The 49ers would then get Bryce Young and be able to flip Bryce Young as well. There will easily be teams that will take a flyer on Bryce Young. Absolutely would be teams that would take a flyer on Bryce Young. Do the Panthers flip it? Do the Rams? Here's a wild one for you, so hold on. Said this last week, and I talked all the money stuff out. Do the Rams make a trade for Joe Burrow? Didn't see that coming, did you? Let me talk you through this. You're thinking, no way. Could the Bengals deny 2 first-round picks? Joe Burrow does not like Zach Taylor. Joe Burrow does not like Cincinnati. If Joe Burrow got wind that the Rams were trying to trade for him, he would absolutely blow up the Bengals. He would be all over it. And Matthew Stafford's contract means nothing this year. What if the Rams use those 2 first-round picks? You know, they haven't had them a lot in the past. This past year was the first time. Then they traded it to get a pick this year, and now they got 2 first-round picks this year. Could the Cincinnati Bengals completely reset what they're looking at if they get 3 first-round picks? Absolutely. They already screwed up. They didn't trade Trey Hendrickson the way they should have to get capital for him. They already screwed that up. They didn't trade Pratt. Do the Rams make a play for Joe Burrow? Now, see, here's the thing. You're sitting there going, no way. Remember, they traded Goff for Matt Stafford. Who does Sean McVay like across the league? That's what you got to ask yourself. And what team believes that they would be okay or wants to see if they may be able just to reset everything if they make a trade? I'll throw one at you. What if the Rams go get Baker Mayfield? He's been with McVay before. Honestly, where I think he grew up the most was with McVay. You call it crazy, but the Rams already did this once. You need capital to make these types of moves. What do the Rams have this year? Capital. They could easily, they're getting ready to pay the defense. They could reset that with a guy like Mayfield. You get Mac Jones, you're paying him probably just a little bit under what they were paying Stafford this year. You may think it's crazy, but it's not. I'll give you one even better. And I don't think this will happen because I don't think this would be, I think this city and the stadium that he built loves him too much. But there is a legit idea for Buffalo to completely reset. There really is. If they lose to Jacksonville and get knocked out in the wild card and they fire McDermott and they're going to bring in a new coach, to have 3 first-round picks to be able to reset the organization, reset the cap, get rid of some of the bad contracts, reset the cap, reset the team. it wouldn't be bad for them. I don't think it would be bad. That team for Buffalo does not have as much um, juice as what Josh Allen makes it look like. James Cook is good. Khalil Shakir is good as a slot. They're probably going to trade Coleman in the offseason. There's multiple teams that I want to have pick up Coleman. Multiples. Atlanta being one of them. Honestly, because of how everything is, the Texans, even though I think Higgins is coming on, so I don't think they need him. The Titans, though, get Ridley out. He's too old. Bring in Keon Coleman. The Giants could easily use Coleman. Like, there's a lot of teams that could use Keon Coleman because I think he's frustrated with the offense. He's frustrated with what's going on. And I'm wondering if he is just more acting out because he doesn't feel like they care. I mean, the team doesn't look like it cares as much. They're beating up on the bad teams, but they play tough teams, and they're getting swamped. And Keon, look at all the draft interview tape that there was. He's a smart kid. So, I don't know. But I did say, and I have said, now I've said it here. Joe Burrow to the Rams. Watch for that possibility. Watch for that possibility. Because the Rams have that. The Rams have the capital. The Browns have the capital. If I'm the Browns, because of where I ended up, I'm sticking right where I am. Right where I am. I am not moving from where I am. So this is the draft order. Let's go through this and then let's get to some NBA stuff and some hockey that happened last night. So number 1 is the Las Vegas Raiders. At second, the New York Jets. 3 is the Cardinals, 4 is Titans, and 5 is the New York Giants. The Browns are then drafting 6th. Okay? The Browns also own, because of the Travis Hunter trade from last year, the Browns also own Jacksonville's first-round pick. The other team that has 2 first-round picks is also Dallas and New York. So you got multiple teams this year with 2 first-round picks. Browns, Jets, Dallas, Rams. Pretty good list there. Pretty good list there. So there's multiple opportunities for people to be able to move. So the Browns are 6th, the Commanders are 7, the Saints finished the season really well, 6-11 are 8th. Chiefs are now 9, top 10 pick going to Andy Reid as of right now. The Bengals are 10, Dolphins 11, Cowboys 12. The Rams, via the Falcons, are at 13. Ravens 14, Bucks 15. The Jets own the Colts pick at 16. Lions 17 and Vikings are 18. That is the top 18 order as it stands. Jets have a huge opportunity to make a move. So do the Rams. Dallas, if they really wanted to, I think Dallas needs to go draft picks, reset their cap. I believe Jerry Jones also believes that. Fully believe Jerry Jones also believes that. So we will see how everything kind of plays out with that. But that is where it's all at right now. That is exactly where it's all at. We'll get into my predictions for the weekend. The rest of them, I've got some Hawks locks, and I got the picks. I will pick every game, if you remember. Last year, I was 100%. I was 6 for 6 wild card weekend. And then In divisional round, I was 3 for 4. Not to brag, but we're going to go for 6 for 6 again. We're going for 6 for 6 again. And we're going to try to set everything up. We'll see what happens. All right, so let's move to the NBA. Let's move to the NBA. So last night was a weird night. The New York Knicks got absolutely smashed by the Detroit Pistons, 121-90. It was ugly. And I mean ugly. It was bad. The Celtics beat the Bulls 115-101 in Boston. The Raptors continued the Hawks slide 118-100. The Rockets on a thrilling three-pointer at the buzzer drained by Kevin Durant take down the Suns 100-97. The Hornets on a night where the Thunder shot barely 30% took down the Thunder. They took them down. And in thrilling fashion, 124-97. 124-97. The Denver Nuggets beat the Sixers 125-124. The Warriors, Curry was ejected. Really, really hated a lot of the foul calls that were called, and they did not appreciate them. Jimmy Butler missed the last second shot. The Clippers hang on to win 103-102. Trailblazers beat the Jazz last night 137-117. So we're going to look at the standings, and I'm going to be playing with the trade machine that they've got now sitting on here because we are in January and the trade deadline is February. So when you look at the Eastern Conference, number 1 is the Pistons, 2 is Celtics, 3 is the Knicks, 4 is the Raptors, 5 is the 76ers, 6 is the Orlando Magic, which is the team that I said look out for. When they get hot, they will move up rather quickly. Miami Heat are 7, the Cavs are 8, Bulls are 9, and the Hawks are 10. The Milwaukee Bucks, Hornets, Nets, Wizards, and my Indiana Pacers are on the outside looking in, and the Pacers are not on the outside looking in. They're just on the outside. Probably about 5 miles away from the ring of being in. I mean, it's ugly. It's flat out. We'd have to go on a 30-game win streak from now to be able to even potentially make the playoffs. Like, it's horrible. It's ugly. I don't like it. But anyway, nonetheless. All right, moving to the Western Conference. The Oklahoma City Thunder are number 1. The Spurs are 2. Nuggets are 3. The Rockets are 4, followed by the Lakers at 5. Timberwolves are 6, and then the play-in teams as of right now are the Suns at 7, Warriors at 8, Blazers at 9, Grizzlies at 10, the Clippers, the Mavericks, the Jazz, the Kings, and the Pelicans are all on the outside looking in. All of them. Look for the Kings to potentially be a seller at the deadline. The Jazz have had some very interesting games this year, I will say that. The Pelicans are in trouble like the Pacers are. But the Pacers have lost 12 in a row. Even the Wizards are 5-5 in their last 10. The Pacers are 0-10, and they're 0-12 in their last 10. Or 0-12 in their last 12. The Pelicans are 3-7 in their last 10, and they're on a 7-game losing streak. So they were on a 3-game winning streak. It's really interesting. But I will tell you, it is going to get wild this trade deadline. Remember, those aprons, those caps, everything has changed for a lot of these teams. The Milwaukee Bucks may go into full reset mode and trade Giannis. I think it will happen. The Atlanta Hawks are trading Trae Young. Whenever that finally gets fully worked out, they're working on getting that trade done. So it could be interesting. It really could be interesting. The move that could really shake everything. See, I think Trae Young's a decent one, but I think the Kings with LaVine, that's an interesting trade piece right now. I'm not sure the Mavericks are going to make any moves right now. They may trade Tucker. The Indiana Pacers have multiple trade prospects. Mathurin or Neesmith, and I would trade Nembhard. Nembhard, listen, Tyrese goes down. You've got to step up and be the leader, and he has not been. He is a secondary guy. He's the Robin. He's not Batman, and he's not good enough to be able to be a Batman. Siakam is an amazing player. They don't have a big, and if Milwaukee gets a good amount of prospects for Giannis, depending on where they trade him to, Milwaukee could be set up for a late playoff run. I know the Hawks feel comfortable where they're at. The Warriors are going to have to make some decisions here. I don't know what their plan is, but this is going to be an interesting closeout. It will definitely be an interesting closeout. So, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. All right, looking in hockey. Last night's games. We had an overtime game in New York. The Utah Mammoth beat the New York Rangers 3-2 in overtime. The Washington Capitals beat the Anaheim Ducks 7-4. The Red Wings took out the Senators 5-3. The Kraken knocked off the Flames of Calgary 5-1. And the Los Angeles Kings beat the Minnesota Wild 4-2. And still leading in hockey, and honestly just probably forever at this point, the Colorado Avalanche are 31-3-7. 31-3-7. That is 6 more wins than anybody else. That is 6 less losses than anybody else. And they do have 7 ties. But they are 17-0-2 at home. They have not lost at home outside of overtime. They're 9-1 in their last 10. Another team that's coming on right now, 7-2-1 in their last 10, is the Kraken. The Buffalo Sabres are 9-1 in their last 10. The Tampa Bay Lightning have won 7 in a row. They are 7-2-1 in their last 10, so they are making it up. The Florida Panthers are slowly but surely creeping back up the points ladder there in the Atlantic Division. They are coming back. They're now at 47 points. And we'll see what they can do. We'll see how they could finish everything off. All right, looking at who is below. The Winnipeg Jets are below 500. So are the Blackhawks and the Blues. And then the Calgary Flames and the Canucks of Vancouver are all under 500 right now. So there is that for now. All right, baseball. Any news? We've had the Japanese players signed. I saw that. Not a bunch going on. Really not a bunch going on. Just all the Japanese stars that are getting signed. We'll go over that. Okamoto signed with the Blue Jays. Emaye signed with the Astros. So not a whole heck of a lot going on over there. And believe it or not, February 20th, right around the corner, February 20th is when spring training games start. All right. So, brand new news in college football. Offensive coordinator Charlie Weis Jr. is going to coach Ole Miss in the college football playoff semifinals. That's good. That is good. That's huge. That is huge. The Gators, which lost DJ Lagway, signed Georgia Tech transfer Aaron Philo. Comes over to help John Summerall with the rebuild for the Florida Gators. I do want the Gators to get better. I really do. It's been a long time since anybody's been scared of the chomp in the swamp, and it's sad when that's the case. It is definitely sad when that's the case. So, Um, we'll see where that all goes. We'll see where that all goes. All right. In men's college basketball, guys, we are in January. March is 2 months away. Just thought I'd let you guys know. March is 2 months away. And conference play is starting to pick up everywhere. The ACC is playing conference play. Everybody's playing conference play now. And obviously, the one that I watch the most is the Big Ten. The Indiana Hoosiers are currently 11-3, 2-1 in the conference. They are 10-0 at home. I love that part of it. But I hate it at the same time. You know why? Because it feels like it's cheating early in the season until we get to the conference. It really does. It feels like cheating until we get to the real conference games. Nebraska, looking pretty good. They're undefeated. They're 15-0. Michigan is 13-0. Purdue's 13-1. State's 13-2. Iowa's 12-2. Minnesota's 9-5. Illinois is 11-3, along with IU, and USC is 12-3. Now they're 1-3 in the conference, but listen, 12-3. Pull out a couple wins, you can have a halfway decent season. So I am really excited for what the next couple weeks of men's college basketball is going to hold. Tonight on ESPN, Duke and Louisville. That's a really, really, really good matchup. Iowa's at Minnesota on the Big Ten Network. Texas is at Tennessee on ESPN2. Texas Tech is at Houston on Fox Sports 1. No, I am not sponsored. Michigan's also at Penn State on Fox Sports 1 as well. So to close out, I would like you guys let's see. This just came over. Titans general manager Mike Borgonzi he said that they must remove the Chiefs' bias from the Titans coach search. So, hold it. This is great. This is great. He said you have to remove that piece, that biased opinion on anybody that you might have a relationship with. You have to make the best decision for the organization, and that's really the bottom line. Who's going to be the best leader and coach for this organization? I don't know. How about a Super Bowl coordinator? How about a coordinator that's shown consistent ability to be a high-level coach in the NFL? Now, I don't like Spagnuolo, but Matt Nagy would work with the Titans. And he says we got to remove the Chiefs' bias. Get Matt Nagy. Give Cam Ward an offensive play caller that's willing to take a little bit of risk. Let Cam play freely. It would be awesome. It'd be fantastic. Oh, good gosh. Oh, I hope they don't screw this up. Cam Ward's future is on the line. I hope they don't screw this up. All right, that's not how I wanted to end this. So, quick little ending here. We'll get off for the day. We'll be back tomorrow. So, I have been off. Last night I actually ended up being off since Christmas week. So, the 2 days prior to Christmas Eve to now, I have only worked 5 days. I had a vacation trip. Worked the 2 days before Christmas Eve, the 1 day after Christmas, and the 1 day after New Year's Eve because I had vacation. And I'll be honest, it's been really, really nice. But something that's been nice is the amount of time that I've been able to spend with my kids and really just kind of relax. You all know when you take a vacation, you come home and you need to take a vacation from your vacation. And for me, it's always just 1 week vacations, and I'm always thinking about what's going to happen when I get back, trying to get back in the rhythm because I work overnight and how everything else works. So I am really, really trying to look for my next opportunity right now. As you guys know, I had goals for the podcast for the end of the year, and I didn't hit them. It's just the reality. I didn't hit them. Whatever the reason may be is, I mean, I guess I could care a little bit, but I gave it my best, tried everything that I could, um, did what I could do, and I got a couple of things I may try to do here uh, in the new year, but this is not going to that level. And it wasn't a huge level. I just wanted to be able to get, every video. My goal was every video would have 50 views, and my shorts, which do get good views, the shorts do get good views. The shorts would be 1,000 views to 1,500 views per short, and that was my goal. The shorts are really close. I'll be honest. A lot of the shorts have been very close, but the views are not there as far as the actual podcast. And so this is not going to be what it is. This isn't helping decide what I could do. We got a text actually that one of my children's buses is going to be late this afternoon. They were late this morning by 55 minutes. There is a huge shortage of bus drivers. And for the ones of you out there that know me, you know I want to help. Well, I wish I could find or wish I could be part of something that would pay me enough to supplement everything that I don't make from bus driving. I would love to go be a bus driver. I would love to be able to help out. I already have the CDL. I'd only have to get the chauffeur's part of the license to be able to ride the bus. I've already got the CDL. Everything else wouldn't have. None of that would actually bother me because I already do it for a living. And I would love to be able to go be a bus driver for the school system and be able to help because it is a huge need. It's a huge need. And I know this is not the only place that has a shortage of bus drivers. I already have the license. They wouldn't have to spend a bunch of money to train me on what to do because I do it for a living. And it'd be easy for them to throw me into a situation because I'm used to routes, I'm used to stops, I'm used to being very aware of what's going on around my vehicle. So if you guys would, I am really trying to figure out what to be able to do next because I want to be able to help. I want to be able to help. And I am hoping that that opportunity does pop up. And if it does, I will keep you guys posted. It wouldn't actually affect the podcast because of how the shifts are. You got a huge gap in the middle, so I'd still be able to do the podcast. It wouldn't actually affect that at all, which would be great. But nonetheless, I am trying to find something that I can do that between the two would sublet what I would be making from driving a bus and being able to help kids. Because parents, I'm learning this. All my kids are in school. Parents need the bus. The bus is vitally important. And I want to help. So I am hoping and I am looking for the next opportunity that may be out there. So that's definitely what I'm looking for. But right now, I'm going to go eat lunch. I have got broccoli and cheese rotini. Sorry I didn't get enough to share with everybody. But I got broccoli and cheese rotini, and I'm going to go eat lunch. Then I'm going to go pick up my own kids for the day and get them back home. All right, guys. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for hanging out with me. Please make sure to like, subscribe. Please share the podcast with a friend. And as always, make it the best day you can. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, for Sports Talk with Hawk. I am Hawk. I'm out. Have a great day.